handsome young man of 22 or 23 in blue sportswear with a bow in his left hand and an empty quiver on his back hurried over. That guy is the archer from before, Baizeman thought silently. When the young archer saw the silver haired woman, his eyes lit up, and as if a weight had been lifted from his shoulders, he smiled. Bing Zhu, I'm glad you're okay. Bing Zhu? Baizeman blinked before he finally realized the reason why this woman looked familiar. Zhangguang Bing Zhu, a fourth year student and current Student Association president. She was not only the most beautiful woman on campus, but also the number one person in grades. Baizeman knew a little about her because he had met her a couple times, but when she, as student president, organized student assemblies to report information that was important and during events. However, since she was not important to him, he had simply forgotten about her existence. I'm glad you're okay too, Chen He. Zhangguang Bingzu's cold and indifferent gaze did not change very much when she saw the young man. However, Baizeman noticed that the strange glint of hatred or repulsion had dimmed greatly when she looked at him. Anyway, since the zombie problem was fixed, Baizeman did not stay to listen to this group's conversation and turned around, walking away quietly. Wait a minute, little brother, Liang Peng quickly shouted when he saw him walking away. His words had attracted the attention of the other pair. Baizeman stopped and turned around to look at him silently, waiting for his next words. How about you stay here with us? Liang Peng offered. With the strength of the four of us, together, we can easily wipe out those creatures and live a better life. Baizeman had a strange glint in his eyes. He simply turned around and as he walked away, he said casually, I am simply going to look for a dozen students and teachers whom I saved earlier, and then go out of my way to clean up this place to casually leave. Eh? Liang Peng was puzzled. On the other hand, Shangguang Bingzu looked at him coldly before turning around and walking away as well. The young archer Chen He quickly followed her as they chatted with each other. 10 minutes later, the group of survivors rescued by Bai Zemin, Liang Peng, Shangguang Bingzu, and Chen He joined together to form a large group of about 70 people. Because the storm was still raging with no apparent intention of stopping soon, the blood metallic smell it gave off were washed away by the rain in a few minutes. This could prevent other creatures from approaching this place in search of food. However, it also had its disadvantages. One of these disadvantages was that everyone's clothes were completely wet. Unfortunately, they could only hold on like this for now. After arguing for 5 minutes, the people hiding inside the gymnasium were forced to open the doors regardless of their fear. Although none of them were willing to open the doors and risk letting danger in, after Liang Peng threatened if they did not open the doors, he would break it down by force, they had no choice but to give in. Bai Zemin was surprised to discover a total of approximately 30 people hiding inside the gymnasium. Among these 30 people, there were men, women, and some teachers. They all looked at them with apprehension and suspicion. As for this, Bai Zemin ignored it. He separated from everyone and walked around the premises, making sure that there was no hidden danger of any kind. Beijing University Gymnasium was really huge, and although it was called a gymnasium, it was a huge building with all kinds of functions. There was a large indoor basketball court, a sports equipment room, and a cafeteria. The cafeteria was Bai Zemin's target on this occasion. Bang, bang. The metal door was closed tightly. Zemin, who had moved away from the group, could hear the sound of banging coming from inside. He could not help but frown slightly as he thought. Since the cafeteria had glass windows, some insects probably managed to get in. As for bigger creatures, that was impossible since there were metal bars on the windows. Unless a monster with a lot of strength or sharp weapons like the great fast mantis appeared, there was no way they could get in. Therefore, that sound could only be from zombies. Zemin looked to the left and right to make sure no one else was there. After making sure, he opened his backpack and took out the 2 orbs he had obtained earlier, as well as the scroll. Does this color thing work? Zemin thought aloud, forgetting that there was another assistant there who could hear him. It's the colors of the rainbow, Lilith pointed out with a beautiful smile. Seeing Zemin's questioning look, she explained. From lower rank to higher rank, treasures are divided as follows. Red orb is equivalent to a normal grade treasure. An orange orb equals a rare grade treasure. A yellow orb is equivalent to a magic grade treasure. Green orbs are equivalent to epic grade treasures. Zion color means legend grade treasures. Indigo colored orbs are equivalent to semi-god grade treasures. Finally, violet colored orbs mean god grade treasures. The corner of Bizemon's mouth constricted several times. He couldn't help but complain. You should have stopped your explanation on magic grade or epic grade treasures. Now that I look at this red orb suddenly, I don't think it's worth much. I think you're misunderstanding something. Lilith smiled and reminded him of something important. Even a red grade treasure is more valuable than a high-tech machine gun. Let me explain something to you. When you defeat a creature, you absorb its soul power. When that creature's soul power is much higher than yours, the soul record concentrates all the power you were unable to absorb in the form of treasures. The higher the level of your enemy, the higher the chances of getting a higher quality treasure. And the higher the remaining soul power, the higher the probabilities go up even more. Therefore, even the red colored orb in your hands is more valuable than you think at the current stages, Lilith concluded. Hearing her words, Bizemon couldn't help but feel better. Although he felt like asking more questions, he first wanted to finish what he was about to do. The questions could be asked later. After squeezing the red orb hard, it broke and a new treasure appeared in front of Bizemon. Velocity boots, normal grade treasure, extremely light, easy to wear, automatically adapts to the body. When equipped, agility plus 10. Bizemon's eyes lit up and his heart filled with joy. It was just a normal treasure, but these boots increases agility by 10 points. This was equivalent to 1/5 of Bizemon's total agility. He quickly equipped the boots and immediately felt his body become much lighter than before. Now, with his 64 agility points, Bizemon was more than 6 times faster than a normal person before the arrival of the soul record on planet Earth. Replacing his latent excitement, he did the same with the orange orb. Full coat, rare treasure. A jacket that covers from the upper body to the knees. It can stop from light shotgun shells to 9mm caliber bullets. When equipped, all attributes plus 5. Bizemon held the jacket in his hands and almost wanted to roar at the sky to say thank you. With this treasure, he was now impervious to several types of firearms. Even if medium caliber bullets were too strong, with this treasure, his survivability had skyrocketed to another level. He didn't even have to fear being scratched by zombies. As long as he protected his head and hands, and from the knees down, there should be no problem with his safety. Without delay, Bizemon took off the wet jacket he was wearing and put on the full coat. He immediately felt his attributes improving once again, much to his delight. That treasure is good. Among the best quality within the rare grade, just like your Zhuan Wan sword. Congratulations! Lilith cheerfully smiled at him. Bizemon was surprised when he realized that she actually looked genuinely happy for him, puzzling him. Lilith, why are you nice to me? He asked, feeling a little suspicious. Lilith bit her lips and blinked her long eyelashes as she said in a soft voice, I already told you. I want you to be mine. Bizemon rolled his eyes and wisely decided to stop asking. Although his appearance wasn't bad, he wasn't a handsome guy either. Much less so handsome that the biggest beauty he had ever seen in his entire life would fall in love with him at first sight. Without delay, and fearing that someone else was coming to this place, Bizemon turned his attention to the remaining scroll. Special Forces Soldier, unranked passive skill, level 5. By learning this passive skill, you will automatically become a person with the same level of combat experience as Special Forces troops. At the same time, your control and knowledge of your world's firearms grows exponentially. Blood Warlock, Succubus Partner in the Apocalypse, Chapter 8, Stronger and Stronger.